How is it going, you guys? AZPlyo21 here, back with more of our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today we have UFC Fight Night Ortega versus Evloev. We have a featherweight main event here today between Ortega and Evloev. Also got Miesha Tate and Rocky Pennington on the card. Edson Barbosa also on the card. Should be a good one. As a reminder, you guys, our next pay-per-view will be UFC 296 Dariush versus Volkanovski. Dariush defending against the featherweight champion, Volkanovski getting his second crack at the lightweight championship. Also Ankalaev and Pereira in what is sure to be a light heavyweight title eliminator. That is then, and this is now. We have Ortega and Evloev going at it here today. Appreciate you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. As always, be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you have not already done so. Leave a comment. Let me know how you are doing and what you are thinking of the save. So let's get to it. 6 fights on the main card as we are live from Washington for our featherweight main event. So we have Tresean Gore taking on Chidi Njokuani to start off our prelims in the middleweight division. And we have Tresean Gore, winning by TKO in round number 2. Now 2-2 in the UFC, and 5-2 is not the greatest record, but I mean, good for him for getting a win today. Andre Petroski taking on Rodolfo Vieira. Now, Rodolfo Vieira, this is the guy that everyone thought was going to be very, very good, and then he ran into Anthony Hernandez. Yeah, Fluffy took care of him rather quickly. Petroski, a small underdog, as it is Petroski. Actually, it's a draw. Majority draw between the two of them in what was apparently a very poor fight. Jared Gooden taking on Jack Marshman in the 185 division. Gooden looking for his 21st win, and he gets it. A TKO over the Welsh fighter here today. Round number 1, only a minute and a half is all that it takes. Next up, we got Josh Fremd taking on AJ Dobson in the middleweight division. Both guys kind of fringe fighters, as Josh Fremd gets the win. 4 minutes is all it takes for him to get the TKO over Dobson here today. Dusko Todorovic taking on Johan Lainez in the 185 division. I know you guys had mentioned in the comments that I need to mix it up with the booking. I do know that. It's just these are booked a couple months in advance, so hopefully the variety of weight classes on fight cards is a little bit better. But we have Todorovic going for his 13th win of his career, and he does not get it, as it's Johan Lainez with the win. A minute and a half into round number 2. He is now 2-2 in the UFC. Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Punahele Soriano in the middleweight division. Both guys looking for a big win here. Soriano the small favorite, and he does get a TKO victory over the Canadian fighter in round number 2. That brings us to Michael Oleksichuk as he takes on Brian Battle in the middleweight division. Brian Battle looking for his 9th victory. Oleksichuk for his 19th, as it is Oleksichuk with the unanimous decision here today. Julian Marquez taking on Phil Hawes in the middleweight division. Marquez, remember, is the guy who was trying to get at Miley Cyrus after he won a fight during COVID. Very interesting. Phil Hawes, though, fantastic fight, and it ends in a TKO victory for Phil Hawes. 5-2 now in the UFC. Have to imagine he's going to be in the top 25. Vitor Petrino taking on Zach Pauga in the light heavyweight division. Petrino undefeated, but a small underdog to Pauga, and Petrino does get the victory here today, improves to 9-0. Final prelim, as it's Alexa Kamer taking on Anton Turkalj in the light heavyweight division. Both guys have 2 losses on their record, as it is Turkalj who gets the 9th victory of his career, the Swedish fighter, winning via TKO in round number 1. And so that brings us to our main card, starting out with Bruno Silva in the middleweight division, ranked at number 17, 4-2 in the UFC. He takes on Nasruddin Imavov, number 18 in the division, coming off a couple consecutive losses, Sean Strickland and Caio Borralho. And we have Imavov getting a TKO win over Bruno Silva here today. Less than a round is what it took for the Dagestani to get it done. In the flyweight division, we have Asu Almabayev taking on David Dvorak. A couple of guys in the top 10, I believe, as it is Dvorak with the unanimous decision victory here today. Number 19 in the division. He needed that win, couple of consecutive losses to some tough competition. And he's calling out Muhammad Mokaev Jacob Nadeau taking on Maxim Grishin in the 205 division. I believe Nadeau is making his UFC debut, former PFL fighter making his debut, as it is Nadeau, the 27-year-old, winning in his UFC debut, the 9th win of his career. Edson Barbosa taking on Jonathan Pierce in the featherweight division. Pierce, number 21 in the division, 5-1 since joining the UFC, 5 straight wins, and a big win this could be over Edson Barbosa, who is coming off a loss to Sadiq Yusuf, veteran of the Octagon, as always, kind of in a little bit of a gatekeeper role as he takes on Pierce, and Edson Barbosa keeps the gates, beats JSP via unanimous decision, a decent fight only, but Edson Barbosa still kicking strong. Co-main event time, as it is Miesha Tate taking on Rocky Pennington in the bantamweight division. Miesha Tate not ranked, coming off a couple consecutive losses, Caitlin Vieira and Lauren Murphy. 1-2 since she has returned, as she takes on Rocky Pennington, who's coming off of 6 straight wins and probably should be fighting for a title if she wins this one. Last beating Holly Holm on the UFC on ABC fight card, and it is Miesha Tate screwing everything up. Wow, okay. I believe this was her first fight back in the save. It was. So Rocky Pennington is definitely not fighting for a title, as Miesha Tate submits her in less than a round. So Miesha Tate's probably not fighting for a title anytime soon. So now we don't really know what's going on with bantamweight. Nunes will probably have to defend the featherweight championship. That's what it is. Brian T. City Ortega in our main event, taking on Movsar Evloev. Now, on a save that I did about 5 years ago when the game first came out, whoever was making the mods knew that Evloev was going to be pretty good, because he ended up being the featherweight champion in that save that I did some time ago. Since he has joined the UFC, he is perfect, 7-0. You can see last beating Bryce Mitchell via submission. Win over Dan Ige is not one to be snuffed at as well. Now number 5 in the featherweight division, as he takes on T. City Ortega, ranked at number 4. A win over Ilia Topuria is a very good win indeed. And a win over Evloev would be absolutely incredible for T. City, but a win for Evloev might mean a title shot as we begin our main events here today. Neither fighter landing a significant shot thus far, as we are a minute into round number 1. Right hook gets blocked. Attempted head kick. Shooting in on Ortega. Pushing him up against the cage. Evloev trying to take him down, and he gets it. Ortega is very sneaky, though. The jiu-jitsu from the bottom could be a little bit of a problem. Half guard now. Ortega looks like is on top. Less than a minute to go in round number 1. They stand them up as round 1 comes to a close, and they say Evloev took the first round. Can very easily see this one going to a 5-round conclusion. Evloev shoots in for the takedown, and he gets it yet again. Second takedown of this fight, trying to pass guard. Ortega has that guard secure. Side control now. Evloev pounding away, isn't able to get anything super offensive, it looks like. Ortega not troubled by the strikes. Just kind of laying and praying here, it kind of looks like. Yep, Mark Goddard stands him up with nothing going on in round number 2. And it's 10-9 Evloev in that one, and he might be up by 2 rounds. He said he's got to get something cooking. One, two, Evloev equal to it. Hits Evloev with a straight right. Ortega switching stances. Ortega moving around the cage, looking a bit tense. Evloev evades a big punch. Evloev shooting. He gets the takedown. Takedown number 3 for Evloev. Side control now for Evloev. Not doing much damage with these punches. Less than a minute to go in round number 3. T City might be losing. Yeah, they say Evloev has all 3 rounds. He said he needs to get a takedown, maybe submission attempt, or just fire away punches and kicks. 1-2 from Ortega fails. Ortega hopping on 1 foot. He gets the takedown. Halfway through round number 4. Side control now for Evloev. Ortega trying to get him in his guard, maybe so he can do something fishy as far as his jiu-jitsu, but Evloev just not allowing him to get, into a good guard position, and that's going to end round number 4 with Evloev up all 4 rounds. Ortega psyched up. He needs a finish. His corner probably screaming at him. He's behind for sure. Evloev starting to slow down just a bit. Into the clinch. Ortega out wrestles him. Control of the clinch. Evloev on the ground in his guard. Uh-oh, trying to snatch an arm. Evloev blocks it. Some Hail Marys being thrown by T-City. Looking to get a submission super late into the fight. The fighters are clinched. Less than a minute to go. It's going to end in the clinch against the cage. A takedown. Evloev gets it, and the fight is over. Oh, man. After 5 rounds of fighting, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges score the contest 49, 46, 50, 45, and 49, 46. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Movsar Evloev. So rated as a good fight, Evloev beats T-City Ortega in the main event. He is now 18-0, a perfect 8-0 in the UFC. And a big win over a top 5 opponent in T-City. That might be enough for a title fight, honestly. Less than 2,500 in attendance in Washington to watch this main event. No popularity changes. I know we have a fantastic fight on the prelims, so we're going to give Fight of the Night to Hawes and Marquez. We got a performance bonus for Miesha Tate. Let's get it to Jared Gooden. There we go. We do lose a little bit of money on this one. Highest paid fighters, Edson Barbosa and Miesha Tate. Gotta love it. Appreciate you guys as always. As a reminder, the next pay-per-view that we have coming up is going to be Dariush versus Volkanovski for the lightweight championship. I'm AZPlyo21, and I will see you guys at the fights.